Well, this is a subject that I've been very aware of for a long time. A lot of people don't know about the history of Magdalene laundries in Ireland. Some people do know. There's been a lot of news stories in the past couple of years of a mass grave being found in Galway with 400 at least bodies of children, and the cause of how they died is still not being discovered. So I've been aware, a lot of Irish people are very aware of these things and the historic abuses of the Catholic Church in Ireland. I'd researched a documentary 10 years ago for television. The aim was to make a documentary about this whole area for television. I spoke to a lot of women who had been in Magdalene laundries and people who'd been born there and couldn't find their mothers, and so that was 10 years ago. I had 10 years worth of research before the opportunity came up to do the film. Well, in the originally one of the producers came to me, and I think also to some other directors. He had an idea, no script, just a very small idea. He wanted to make a found footage film set in an abandoned Magdalene laundry. So he wanted to make something contemporary, set today, in a no longer used Magdalene laundry. So it would be a bit more like Blair Witch or Grave Encounters, where people go in with cameras and encounter spectres from the past. When he came to me with this idea, I thought about all the research I'd done into Magdalene laundries. I thought about how easy it would be for this subject, this film, to end up being exploited and to be mishandled, and I thought there was a golden opportunity to do something that was really chilling, that used horror as a metaphor to explore real life horror of real things that people did. So I pitched to him that we could do it this way instead. Why don't we make it 1960, use 16mm film. I'd shot on film quite a bit already, and really get to the heart of that human drama and use that to create a horror film that would bounce the horror off the human drama rather than trying. So yes, it was always going to be a found footage film, but it was going to be a different kind of found footage film. And in a way, the found footage came before anything else. It was the start. Well, I think there was three major elements to creating that, the particular look and feel of 1960 Ireland. One thing was locations. So we're lucky in Ireland, and where we shot in Northern Ireland, that we have a wealth of really great atmospheric locations that are there ready to be used. So we didn't have to shoot in a studio. We shot it all in buildings that had very much the appearance of that they should have already, and we just dressed them. I had a brilliant set designer, John Leslie, who has tons of stuff. You know, he even had little matchboxes from that year, so the priest could use the correct matches. You know, no one would ever know, but it's the little details. And I'd done a lot of period theatre, and John Leslie also has a great eye for period detail, and I don't like it when things are not quite, I don't like it when people mix up the 70s and the 60s. It has to be 1960. I don't want to see 1962, it's a very different year. So both of us had a very good eye for that. And then the 16mm film, I think, also helps to sell that aesthetic of the time. I think it was probably John's death, the younger priest. His death was, because there's a lot of it's crazy, but you're in tunnels and it's claustrophobic and you just run around with a camera. The actors weren't even there for all of the stuff that we shot at the end of the film. A lot of it is their voices afterwards, because it's actually our cameraman that's running with the camera, it's not the priest. So he's not even necessarily there all the time. And really, it's not about the shooting that made that difficult. What was difficult to create that total sense of claustrophobia and fear at the end is 90% sound design. That's all in the edit room in post-production. Things change all the time and as a human race, and especially here in the West, we're changing all the time and evolving. I think women could have always made really good horror films. We just didn't always have the chances and the opportunity to do that. And particularly where I'm from, I'm the first woman in Northern Ireland to have made a horror film. I'm the first woman in Ireland altogether to have made a horror film that's had international distribution. So even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, people weren't doing this. And I come from, just to speak for Ireland, because I can't speak for everywhere else, a historically misogynistic country where women didn't have the opportunities that they have today, and even still, we still have a long way to go, but I think that's just it. They always could have done it, they just didn't have the chance. Well, yeah, I've got a couple of different scripts that I'm attached to as director that I didn't write, and I've got a couple that I did write that are with producers. So, and for the most part it's horror or thriller. It's generally stuff that has a dark edge to it, or there's a dead body somewhere. And with the film industry, you never know what's going to happen. It's all about finance and all the different pieces coming together. So I'd like to be making something next year, but I don't know what it is yet. But fingers crossed, I'll have a new horror film out in the next couple of years.